I guess what we can take from last season when we faced EG, we know we can beat them, but then they can also say the same thing. They know how to beat us. We had the same score lines, just reversed. So it's one of them ones we're both just going to go in it thinking, right, we've beat these before, we can do it again. You just try and null the loss out.
What we learned from the matches up, we just got to stay consistent in hardpoint.
The main thing we learned about playing Fnatic the first stage was that they're a tough team. We went in taking them kind of lightly because the whole NA versus EU thing.
And their search and destroy was like super weird. Like they play splits, so we had to switch our gameplay up to like counter them.
I feel like since they did bounce back and requalified again, they're here to prove that they're not a 4th place group team. They're a tough team, and we got to go hard to beat them.
I think if we play our game, we should realistically win both series 3-1, 3-2.
I think this weekend against EG, we'll split series, we'll go like 1-1 with them.
I think it's going to be a close series. We're going to have a last map with them, I think, and then I think we're going to take the other series 3-1 or 3-0.
I think the outcomes will be 2-0. We'll beat them both times.
I don't think I'm going to lose a match to Fnatic.
And we are back. It is time for match number 2 here on day 1. This is the red group, stage 2 of the Global Pro League. We brought in 4 of the best teams from around the globe. Mind Freak from Australia, they just fell to the bottom of our group rankings. Luminosity, they've taken the #1 spot. Who's going to tie them at the top? That's what we're about to find out. And this is really the battle I've been looking forward to most, guys. As soon as this group was announced, I wanted to know who's coming out on top between EG and Fnatic, because if you look back to stage 1, they've already matched up, and they split series both times. It was a 3-0 for each team. When we see them now today, who has the edge? Clearly it was Evil Geniuses placing higher at Anaheim.
Yeah, that's tough though, because I will just say that EG at Anaheim, who did they necessarily beat? You know, they beat, FaZe, a broken FaZe team who then switched rosters. You beat and Elevate an Era, and in winners round 1 they beat E6. Who did they lose to? They lost to Luminosity. They lost to Cloud9. They lost to Ghost Gaming. Teams that I think they should at least compete with. To me, there's nobody on that list that just says, hey, we're a dominant team because we beat these guys. So I'm just not sure what to expect from EG.
Momo, there's a lot of hype around a 3rd place finish at Sheffield, but Splice, they weren't even at the last EU-only tournament. Should we be worried for Fnatic seeing them place 3rd in a tournament where really there's not too many top dogs to beat?
I saw Fnatic placing there and no higher and no less, and I think it's just where they sit at the moment. And I think the one thing that is going to elevate them to, that tier 1 European team is consistent Sunny B. I think he needs to be consistent throughout, and I think this is where he kind of turns up. But as well, I want to see Wuskins get back to that search and destroy specialist as well, because he's been almost a little bit inconsistent himself. So I think that is almost the story of Fnatic. They can, brush aside a lot of the European competition with ease, but when it comes to these type of games versus EG, they win 1-3-0, they lose 1-3-0. Consistency is the key for me.
Teep, do you agree that this is the most important matchup of the weekend?
Most definitely. It's definitely the battle for 2nd. I don't really know what to expect from Fnatic coming into this one. This one, my prediction is definitely going to be 3-1 to EG.
3-1 EG. As we take a look at the maps one more time, Momo, TP's calling a 3-1. What are you calling?
I'm calling a Fnatic Game 5 victory.
Joe?
I'm going to go EG 3-2.
EG 3-2.
Yep.
What does Fnatic win?
They're going to win Game 2 and Game 4.
Game 2, Crusher, Search and Destroy, and Retaliation Hardpoint. Those are the picks from Merc. Let's hear it from our casters, though, as they are ready for series number 2. We got Maven with Mr. X.
Great stuff, gentlemen. I was talking to the Luminosity crew outside after their 3-0 win, and they mirror some of our thoughts in the sense that they feel confident in their ability to take that first spot. But when it comes down to the other 3 teams, they weren't really sure. Like anyone could take 2nd, but they're leaning obviously towards this matchup to decide it.
Yeah, I felt like coming into this weekend, Fnatic and EG were the 2 teams that I think could rival each other for 2nd place. I know they split games, obviously, like the guys on the desk talked about in stage 1. I think Fnatic comes in here. They have the practice from Sheffield and Anaheim. EG, we've seen some stuff on Twitter. Parasite Nameless going back and forth. I think this first map is huge for Fnatic.
Well, they kind of mirrored it. When I was talking to Luminosity, you heard Nameless say they played kind of weird. That's the same word I heard Luminosity say. Like, Fnatic plays weird. It could catch them off. But back to what they said, Sunny B did struggle in stage 1, but Sunny B turned it around big time in Anaheim. I think it's more on the Twins, man. You need Scraps and Wuskin to be beasts here. And so far, so good. Fnatic win the break.
Well, Scraps and Wuskin in the respawn game modes, right? We've seen Wuskin do some incredible things in Search and Destroy. Fnatic's entire year has really just been a letdown in terms of respawn game types. Sunny B has not got it working at times. Wuskin and Scraps have not been great. Tommy's been pretty good. His last few events, though, not the best.
Yeah, you know, I didn't see what his final breakdown was, but I know when I was taking a look at the overall KDs from day one at Anaheim.
It's not pretty.
Tommy, yeah, he was in the bottom 3 overall. He said it was one of the worst days he's ever had an event. I think overall Anaheim just ended up being a really off one. So you got to wonder, you know, you go back-to-back, you have Anaheim, you have Sheffield, you now have this. Does that extra grind time and consistent scrims, you know, practice kind of leading into this help them out?
I think it has to. I mean, I think Fnatic is a team that obviously some young players coming in. You know, Tommy, a veteran in the EU Call of Duty scene. Scraps, Wuskin, Sunny B, you know, they've been around for a little bit, but really, you know, newcomers to this echelon of play. I think the more they play, obviously, the better they're going to get. So I think the last few events, you know, having back-to-back weeks, definitely going to be great for Fnatic.
Well, on the other side, as we switch POVs to EG, do you think sometimes we maybe undervalue this EG team? Because they've been consistently top 8. They just got a top 6 at Anaheim. But we still think that, you know, Mind Freak and Fnatic can play them really tough. Why do you think that's sort of the perception from us? Is it because they haven't been able to crack through?
I think we do undervalue EG a little bit. I think it's from the standpoint that they don't have like a superstar type player, like somebody, you know, who you really kind of look at and be like, okay, that guy's, you know, won numerous championships before, you know, big time player. They don't really have like somebody who's going to make these like crazy highlight reel plays. So I think that's where we look at EG. And it's like not like a boring playstyle, but they just play like a consistent playstyle. They don't try and do anything too flashy. They just do what they need to do to win, and then they just move on. And I don't think it really kind of excites a lot of people, but they do get nice wins on the
Exactly. You're describing their game style. It almost goes straight hand in hand with the results, right? Yeah. Nothing too flashy, but it's consistent. They're always right there in that top 8 when you talk about major open tournaments.
They do always play a playstyle where they're always going to be in series, though. We've seen them play, you know, the top teams tough at Anaheim. You know, they have a great game against Luminosity. So they play them pretty tough, but you know, they're never going to like blow anybody away. They're always going to keep games close. EG, I think it really just comes down to if they pick up those clutch kills, they'll decide the maps.
Well, you talked about their need at times, maybe for a superstar, a guy that can make those hero plays. If it was anybody from stage 1, it was Nameless. A rough day 1, and then he just exploded, carrying the team in the slaying department throughout the rest of the weekend. Can he do it here?
Well, and then you bring in a guy like Parasite, as you see Scraps in the feed picking up 3. He's currently on a 3 streak as well, 11 and 6, top of the lobby. But they bring in Parasite as well. And Parasite has been a player who has obviously won champs a very long time ago in the past. He's been on some very good teams. You know, always been one of the top players. They're looking at him, you know, maybe getting with Nameless, and they could be a definitely power combo.
Well, Scraps going on a tear now, 6 in a row, just off the bombardment, and focus on his game style. If you're watching, maybe you don't own a Scuff, you know, you keep your feet on the ground a bit more. That is what you get from Scraps. He plays default control settings. He's going to drop shot more than he's going to take it vertical, and he will catch players off guard. They'll be used to maybe pre-aiming the sky at certain angles, and he's on his belly there picking up the kills. He's going off right now for his squad. Unfortunately, a nade ends up catching his Scarab and ending that streak.
An anticlimactic way to end his streak there. He blows himself up with his own Scarab, but it's going to be a ton of time here for Fnatic. 17 seconds left here on the drill hardpoint. And they're going to try to take a pretty nice lead here, Clint. If they can get Turbine in the second rotation, they have the streaks, you know, to break this breach if it comes up again. They have the streaks over at drill. They're in a good position right now, utility-wise, to take the game.
Well, we talked about the Twins needed to go big. You already got a full streak for Scraps, and you're getting very close. Wuskin was 1 kill away from the Trinity Rocket, but it's none other than the new force, Parasite, that joined the EG team. Can we get over to Parasite when you get a second here? Because he's 12 and 8. He has 4 kills in a row. He's going to be set up for the push coming in through Cave, finishing one player that's weak. Sees him in the corner. There it is. Rallying is Parasite. 6 in a row, 14 and 8. Just over a minute in objective as well. He's doing everything.
And you're going to see the streaks coming down for Fnatic. It's not going to kill Parasite, so Fnatic burns a streak here on Bridge. It's going to be EG still picking up a lot of the time, and now Parasite, he's going to get fully streaked out, getting the bombardment. His streak ends at 7. You have EG clawing back into this game, and when I said before on the drill, you know, Fnatic, great spot, they have a lot of utility. Now they burn one of those streaks, they didn't get the time, they've let EG take the lead back. This is not looking good for Fnatic now.
Exactly, it looks really, really good for them. And then 60 seconds later, not as great because you get those streaks for Parasite as well. But can they get it done here? EG has a lead despite the fact that Nagafin currently sitting at 5 and 14, nearly triple negative right now, but the rest of the team getting it done. On the back of this man right here, Parasite gunning everybody in front of him.
And if you are Fnatic, obviously Sunny B not having a great game, 7 and 14 as well. But when you have somebody on the other side like Nagafin, who's 5 and 15, you need to win these games. This would be a heartbreaking loss for Fnatic if they go on to lose this one.
We're staying on with Parasite right now because he's been an absolute beast. Let's see what's working right for him. You can see how deadly it can be with control here. He calls in the bombardment. He's able to get a couple of kills. As we look at the minimap, he's going to be the first man to rotate over with 20 seconds remaining. Gives his teammate Havoc here the spawn, and they're set up. You hear Fnatic in the background, though, getting loud as they've taken control of Turbine. Let's look at Parasite get set up for Hangar.
Yeah, and you saw Parasite, he started to move a little bit towards Turbine, decided to back out, knew he was not going to be able to make a good attempt at getting the hill back, even with a few seconds left on Turbine. Not worth it, but you see he drops right there with his teammate Havoc. It's Nagafan and Nameless, the only ones up for EG. They get killed, and this is not good for EG. They rotated early, gave up a ton of time on Turbine. Now it's Fnatic able to break in here towards the warehouse. They could end up putting this game out of reach here.
That was a phenomenal sequence from Fnatic. You know, you win the tail end of, what, the 20, 30 seconds there at Turbine. You bust through with your first push, but now you've got a couple of players down. Can Scraps end up holding strong in the backside as his teammates come off a spawn? It'll be Nagafin over the top. He gets several weak. Nameless trying to clean him out, but there's still one player remaining. It's Sunny B back in the action. He's getting loud. He started slow, but now starting to come alive.
See Nagafin trying to make his way inside towards the hill. He's able to get one, but 15 seconds left on this hardpoint, Maven. You still have the streaks on the side of Fnatic, and you still have Parasite with streaks going into drill.
And again, the big thing, man, we talked about the twins. They need to be consistent. One, doing it in the slaying department. Scrapped at 25 and 13. Now look at the objective work from Wuskit.
Jeez.
He's 14 and 11. He's almost got 2.5 minutes in the hardpoint.
What's the most hill time we've seen?
I don't think I've seen 3 minutes, correct?
I have not seen 3 minutes in a game I've cast. I think I've seen, for some reason, I think it may be like somebody on FaZe, I think got like 3 minutes in a game that we didn't see. But Sunny B making his way towards the hill, trying to open this up for the rest of his teammates. It's AG inside of the hardpoint right now. Here comes the streaks from the side of Fnatic. They get nothing with it, so this is good for EG. If they pick up the kills here, should be able to take the 30 seconds left here on drill.
You still have the Trinity Rocket for EG as well in this man's hand, Parasite. And it's Nagafin trying to hold control of the observation deck and rack up as much time as they can. Nagafin loses a gunfight, but at least able to tag up Scraps. Scraps gets his health back, and he's just peeking back and forth, trying to play his life as EG claws back in this game with a fantastic hold here at drill. We're getting into our next rotation, Matt. Can Fnatic fight back?
Well, Fnatic does have this active camo. You would only probably use that. You'd save it for Turbine, right? If Turbine comes up again, that's when you would save the active camo. Maybe you're able to get in there and break, but 50 seconds on this hill. Just popped up his bridge, and it's going to be Fnatic in control of it. Only need 40 seconds left here to take this game.
Well, Tommy gets a two-piece inside, but now Parasite wants to call him in. He sees his teammates dropping, trying to locate what he can. Can't finish anybody here, just hovering it now to try and get an angle, at least able to sneak in there and get Sunny B. It was actually Wuskit he chased inside. Sunny B, though, catches the Trinity to the face. Obviously, Nameless falling. The 2:25 mark now hit for Fnatic with just over 20 seconds to go. They can't win it here, but they can nearly put it out of reach.
Scraps has been a monster. 31 and 16 on a 3 streak right now. His brother was on a 4 streak. Wuskin's playing well. It's the two players we highlighted coming into this one, Scraps and Wuskin. They have their payload abilities. They have Turbine first. This is where Fnatic should be able to put the game away.
Yeah, and speaking to Octane, the guys, they thought for sure this is a series that goes the distance. Fnatic would play them tough, and they thought we'd see a game 5. It's looking like it's possible here as game 1. Nameless over the top. There's a reactive armor there. He's tagged with camo. He ends up falling, not able to locate the kill. And Scraps has his own camo inside. Another 5 streak, 2 more lining up in front. He's cutting down everything. Another 7 streak for Scraps. They just need 5 more ticks. What a monster performance from Scraps.
This game is definitely not over, though. It's going to be Evil Geniuses inside the hill. 30 seconds left to take here. They get control of Hangar when it pops up early. They could make this comeback happen. Nagafin in the feed with 1. Havoc's got 2 players coming at him. He's able to take both of them out. 1 more coming off the wall run. Oh, he reloaded at pretty much the worst time possible there. Able to stay alive. These are big kills if Nameless is able to get him on this side of the map.
We saw Fnatic do it once, right? They had a perfect hold at Turbine and got that first break onto Hangar. Now EG has to do exactly that, but the streaks, this is where they come into play. Scraps actually gets 2. He gets 3. Scraps 38 and 18 plus 20, doing everything he can. It's Havoc, the last man here. He has to try and contest. He's doing everything. He's got 2. The third in front, almost able to do it, but he buys him enough time for Nagafin to get inside. But as they drop, it is Fnatic and Scraps. What a hell hell of a game. That was spectacular to open up this series.
They needed somebody to step up in the respawn game modes, and Scraps did it in a big way. Comes out, dominates game 1 here against EG. Wouldn't exactly call it an upset. I think these teams are both evenly matched, but I think it definitely probably shocked a lot of the people.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it could be an upset just if you look at results. It certainly is, as consistent as EG has been. But again, we felt this could be a good series, and you see it right there. And, you know, could you maybe fault Scraps on his use of the first set of streaks? Sure. But he gets him again, goes on a tear, and that Trinity Rocket kind of closed the game there on Hanger.
And I tell you what, I mean, he doesn't have those streaks. Havoc made that pretty interesting there towards the end. He goes in, picks up that 2-piece. He stays alive for a little bit longer. His teammates aren't spawned that far out. They're able to get back to the hill a little bit faster. That is one where EG definitely could have made that a better fight on Hanger.
And how many times have we seen a game come down to the wire and Hanger like that, where a team gets full control for a straight 50, 60 seconds. They're able to take it and win the game. Just a little bit short is EG, because they ran into the beast that is Scraps. What a wonderful performance. And as much as he did it in the slang, you saw Wuskin was right there just racking up so much time in the hardpoint, man.
Yeah, now going into game 2, this is the game mode Search and Destroy that definitely is Fnatic's best. This is where they've really shined throughout the year. They've been a very good Search and Destroy team. So I think you look at this, obviously EG has some very good S&D players on their side. The map count's so important this weekend. We saw Fnatic, you know, in their week during stage 1. It was just a few maps that kind of eliminated them from playoff contention.
Well, the question mark was the Twins in Respawn. I think it holds true in Search to a degree that Wuskin maybe didn't carry them. Their strategy is sort of what gets them through, and their weird gameplay per se. But Wuskin was phenomenal in Search for most of the year. He was rough at Anaheim. We haven't really seen that guy that's dropping 10, 12 kills in Search. Can he bring that back? I think that game 1's got to go a long way to kind of get the confidence in him.
Well, I also think you look at how Fnatic played Search and Destroy earlier in the year. A lot of teams saw how dominant they were and watched a lot of their gameplay. They're like, hey, we're going to steal some S&D strats from Fnatic. And the more you watch their gameplay, obviously you're going to know where these guys are going. You're going to be able to expect their timings a little bit more. That I think teams may have just been able to read Fnatic a little bit better.
Well, and just to give you guys an idea at home, I mean, S&D strats can change on the fly. Like, you don't see teams scrim them very frequently. They get practice in online 2Ks and basically at the events, because they don't go hard on those when it comes to the pre-tournament practice. You know, speaking to LG, they were talking about playing Optic Gaming round 1 in Anaheim, and I guess they had played Era before that. They were playing Breakout, Search and Destroy. They were using a lot of strats that were like catching LG off guard. They took those strats, literally used them in the next series and won it. So your ability to kind of change on the fly is huge for Search.
I mean, that's what a lot of teams do. I remember back, I think it was Ghost, it was the Columbus Open, and I know we had not really gotten a lot of practice going into that, and I remember like we all sat in the crowd and we would just watch teams play Search and Destroy and be like, oh, we kind of like that. Let's try it. And then it's like, oh, well, we like that, but maybe we can do it a little bit better if we throw like a smoke here or use some kind of tacticals there. So I think that's what you see a lot of these teams do. They end up watching some of the other teams like, hey, that was a really good strat. Let's kind of try that next time we play Search and Destroy. And sometimes you catch some teams off guard. And,
you know, we just coming into the year, we talked about this EG team. We expected S&D to be what carried them. It didn't early on, but you've got a lot of just really, really good Search and Destroy players. And Havoc is a guy that we expected to be that. He was one of the best players in Search back in Black Ops 3. We come into this year, and I think he said just like a week ago, he's like, I finally feel like an S&D god again. It took a lot of time to get there. But if they get that Havoc, man, they will hang tough in just about every Search.
Oh, he was phenomenal in S&D last year. I mean, he was a player who, like, going into Search and Destroy, he would definitely get your team, you know, 2-3 rounds on the board, right? I mean, he was that good. Like, he would win you certain situations. And I think if EG can get that type of production from him in Search and Destroy, you know, towards the later half of this year, this could be a team that could even go higher than their current placings.
I think that would be the key, right? You know, we spoke about it a little bit. I think we did a roundtable together with the casters coming into this, and I even joked a little bit with Nameless on Hot Mic last night, just saying, hey, this isn't a knock to you guys, but I kind of think them finishing in that top 6, top 8 is good. Like, that's realistic sometimes, I feel like, for the team.
I hated when you said that.
I know, but that's how I feel. Like, I just feel like if you are consistently top 8,
I hate that.
Not every team can expect to win. I asked him, you know, what is it going to be? What will take you into that upper echelon? And he thinks Parasite's going to be a big piece of that. His consistent play, in which they lacked in study, he thinks could be the difference.
I hate that. Like, when you say that, it just triggers me. Like, they should be happy with, like, those placings. Like, you should never be happy with, what, 6 through 8? Like, I mean, maybe you think that's their ceiling, right?
Well, I guess that's more how I mean it. I think that's kind of a realistic ceiling. We're talking about
that's
top 8,
like
top
the
6.
best they can get.
Yeah.
Like, okay. But I feel like if that's the best you can get, like, you need to figure out a way to make your team better. Like, I I know as a former player competitor, I cannot live with myself on a team like that. I would just go nuts.
Well, and I think they certainly feel that way. I guess that's just kind of my view on it. You know, if you're consistently placing in that, man, it's pretty impressive. There are not many teams that can do that. Who can say they've been top 8 in every single open event this year? The list is not very long.
No, I mean, not really. I mean, what, you got Optic Gaming, LG, well, they were out of the top 8 in Paris. They had to fill in, but...
Is it Optic and EG? We know Envy and Face just bombed out. Splice, I'm trying to think
And you got to think the roads that EG's had, they've had to play through open. They've had, crazy ways to get there. It's been a really impressive year from EG.
All right, well, here we go. Round number 1 of Search and Destroy. Tommy's got the snipe out, and he's going to try and find kills in the backside, not able to snap onto the first. Are they going to need his aggressive gun in his hand where he's able to actually kind of push forward and make a play? Everybody just dropped. Sunny B will be the last one in, not able to win it. 4 up, 4 down. EG takes round 1. And that's a tough spot. That's where the sniper hurts you. I mean, think about the last series. We saw multiple times LG in that position on defense where they had to play the retake. You've got K-Bar, Erad just flying in over the top, winning those fights. When you have a man there with the sniper, if you don't hit that first shot and get the pick, how do you win that?
As soon as that guy misses that first shot, you just have to charge him. Just take him out right away. I mean, as soon as he's kind of reloading, putting another bullet in the chamber, so to speak, or, maybe getting his pistol out, you can just charge that guy with an Erad, or even better, medium range with the K-Bar, just kill him with these.
2 early kills going to go the way of the Fnatic. They'll take an edge in our second round. We'll see what Nagafin and Havoc are able to do. 2 just stellar Search and Destroy players from last year. Havoc about to get peaked. Nagafin there to back him up. They turn it into a 2 versus 2. Bomb has been planted. Havoc doing a good job of playing his life.
It's great teamwork from the players on EG. They're trying to get in here towards the A site. It's going to be Havoc with a nice shot in a melee there on Scraps. Leaves Sunny B the only one up here for Fnatic in a round that looked like it was going to go their way. They have to rely on Sunny B to clutch up. Not able to take out Nagafin. That is a fight you got to win. You get first shot like that, you tag him so low. You can see Nagafin's health bar above his head. You got it. I mean, he has to hit, what, 2 more bullets? 3 more bullets?
Especially with an Erad there.
Yeah.
At that range, that's exactly the gunfight you want. You know, he tests them there. He doesn't think they're going to stick the bomb, plays it slow, gets the good angle. Just doesn't win the one-on-one gunfight. Obviously, you're going up against an Erad there as well from Nagafin, but when you get first shot like that and you're playing at this level, you have to finish the kill.
See what Fnatic does on the defensive side here. Looks like they're going to be stacking over towards the B bomb site, and EG making a fabulous call. They're going to go in towards A here. They have the round advantage, obviously up 2-0. They have some rounds to kind of play with here. This is a round, I mean, they should definitely win this round. I mean, when you get control of that A site and you get bombed down, it's so hard to break in.
Well, at least you can see how they're applying. I don't believe you're going to have a sniper in Tommy's hand this time, so maybe it makes it a little bit easier if you're going to push forward on the retake, but Nagafin already able to cut them off. They trade it back effectively, though, so it is into a 3v3. You can see the bombs planted for the backside towards their spawn. All those blue arrows on the minimap holding. You do have Havoc in mid, able to hit through you or a flank if he needs to. He decides to hit the flank now. This could be so deadly. He's coming in behind. He should have a free kill here in a moment. He isn't able to finish him. His teammates are all dropping. I thought the time he was going to hit perfect, but Fnatic just pushes it out. They make the play. Not able to kill the diffuser. If he gets it there, you're good. Oh my God, one more bullet, man, and he's dropped.
That is a big retake there from Fnatic getting around on the board. It's one where I thought EG, they definitely should have maybe even played in by the A site. They kind of got too spread out. They let Fnatic in and kind of get control. Well, but man, one more bullet from Havoc there towards the end, and he clutches that up.
To be fair, it's just, I think it was unfortunate timing for Havoc. He gets there, what, a second earlier? He's probably shooting 2 players in the back. If he comes through you to help out, that could go very differently as well. It was just one of those situations where the timing just a tiny bit off for EG, but they still hold a 2-1 advantage here in Search.
Now with Fnatic on offense, an opportunity to tie this up. We talked about Wuskin's strong play in Search and Destroy, starting things off at 4-2. He's going to go high off the wall run, so he's just going to check this out before his teammate comes in, plants the bomb. But I believe one player on EG is going to be nameless. He was definitely spotted by the players on Fnatic. He's going to have to back out, but it's going to be Wuskins and Scraps. A kill apiece. Fnatic now has bomb down. They have wiped the floor with EG, and they have tied this game 2 up.
We keep saying it, man. You need the twins to show up. They did it in the hard point. Wuskin, this is like vintage him we had in Search and Destroy throughout the course of the year. He goes hard carry modes at time coming into this round. He had, what, 4 of the 6 total kills for his team. opens it up there with a nice wall run to shoot Nameless in the back as he tries to get away with his life. You got to keep getting plays like that. All tied up. Now it's going to be Nagafin and company back to offense. We saw Tommy not able to make a play with the sniper earlier. We'll see if Nagafin can do it on the side for EG.
And it looks like it's going to be Fnatic with an aggressive defense here. It's going to be Parasite, though, playing so far back with the NV4. He's able to win that first initial fight, and here comes the flood from EG. It's going to be Naga with a snipe. It's going to be all up to scraps now as Tommy falls. And man, these rounds, it's been quite weird. You know, it's always kind of going down to like a 1v3 or 1v4. It seems like now these rounds have not, you know, sometimes you see a lot of close search and destroys, right? They come down to 1v1s, 2v2 scenarios. It seems like these rounds are, you know, Fnatic either killing everybody on EG, defusing the bomb, whatnot, or they end up in like lopsided 1v3, 1v4 scenarios.
I think it's a little bit kind of a difference of play styles. I mean, it happens a lot with someone like Luminosity at times because you see what happens on retakes. All four just hit. It's a cluster. It's like, who's going to come out of this bloodbath? A little bit maybe more tactical here. You're not seeing as many kind of four-man hits. These like eight-person fights. Yeah,
and I was going to say, we saw it in the little interview about both teams before. I believe it was Nameless talking about Fnatic, where he said they like to split up a lot. You know, they like to do split pushes and whatnot. So, you know, just more players spread out on the map, you're not going to be able to get, you know, those double kills real close.
Well, Tommy does get the first blood for his side. Seeing if Nameless on EG can answer back and put it in their favor. It's a sniper in the hands of Nagafin in back-to-back rounds. He's got FTL to work with as well. We know he's got one of the deadliest trigger fingers in the West when it comes to using these pistols. Hasn't had to get involved yet.
See if he can break in. This is probably the worst position to have a sniper in. He actually spots one. I wonder, yeah, he calls out to Parasite. You see Parasite's arrow on the minimap number 4. He turns right away to look towards you. Just a little bit slow, not able to pick that kill up. And Naga's got a great angle here. He's able to get one with the snipe, trying to line up another. And this is great because now he's pinned these players in for Fnatic, right? They don't want to peek out because they know he's in this area. Watching it, it's going to be Scraps challenging them, picking up one.
But he gets a kill. He tags up 2 different players that come in through assist, and now all of a sudden it's become a 1v1. You wanted a Matt, and here it is. Parasite going up against Scraps. Scraps so good in game 1. Stellar here in game 2, but this is why you brought Parasite onto the team. Not able to clutch it. Nice route there from Scraps to win the 1v1.
It was a nice angle by Nagafin when he was in U. Blocked a lot of those players off. They didn't want to come in the cross because he had that lockdown with the sniper with Scraps, who goes in, takes him out, then opens the rest of that room up for the rest of his team to move freely, wins the 1v1 there against Parasite to give Fnatic another round.
Yeah, I mean, Nagafin did what he could, right? It's a tough spot to have a snipe. The fact he hit one and weakened 2 players, he did his job there.
That's about the best you can play with a snipe rifle in that scenario, right? In that angle.
All right, well, here we go. It's round 7 underway. Scarab and FTL available for Nagafin. They've got control here of the A site. And it looks like they're wrapping it up for now. So Fnatic's going to push on in, get retaking control. Let's see how EG plays this out.
Now it's going to be Tommy with the sniper rifle. Watching B. All alone right now. You see how spread out this Fnatic roster is. And so here's what EG's trying to do. They're trying to, you know, just play this really slow, bait Fnatic in. Maybe Fnatic thinks, you know, they've rotated over towards B. You know, maybe they think they're just kind of lurking over towards A, but it's going to be Tommy opening things up with his sniper rifle. And now he's going to call this out to the rest of his team. You see the push coming in from EG. They want to get to Tommy and get him out before the rest of his teammates get there.
And they rotated over, but if you're Tommy there, do you need to back up a little bit? You can't let that happen. You know they're going to fly at you. He ends up getting taken out. Now it's 1 player left. It's Wuskin in a 1v3.
Yeah, if you're Tommy, you need to back out of that area.
You got your kill.
At that point, you get the kill. You get man up. Just even give them the sight. Just let them plant. Just back up. Just stay alive. That's all you need to do.
Be confident in your team to win a 4v3. I mean, if you get the first blood, we know how important that is in winning these rounds, the high win rate you'll get when you take that first blood. Put a little bit of faith in your teammates to make a play and even a retake if necessary. Can Wuskin get it done, though? Now a 1 versus 2. He's so tagged up. Surely he should drop. Somehow still alive. There's a team kill that comes in. Can't slide to the edge. That got really sloppy. I mean, I think EG did the right thing in the sense that they both hit it to finish the kill, but the angle ended up horrible in the sense that one was right in front of the other player. The idea was right. The execution, not great.
The idea was very good. The execution was very poor. That could have gotten really bad for EG there.
Well, you wondered why he wasn't dying. It's because one player wasn't shooting.
Well, I was like, I'm seeing a lot of bullets, and he's not taking a lot of damage. These guys are professionals. I mean, they're able to shoot. I mean, I was like, what is going on? But I saw the team kill come in. The bullet's just registering right into the back of his teammate's head. It'll be Fnatic up 4-3. EG up 4-3 with Fnatic now on offense. So we see Wuskin, he'll be the first to the site. They'll try and get this down. Then they're trying to back out.
And on the other side of it too, you know, Nagafin, not a great game one, but this is where he can be a specialist, right? He's 9-4 for his team. Havoc finds both the entry kills. We talk about how crucial he is to the success of this team. Scraps, though, giving them a chance. He has Camo to work with as well, but can't get out in time. 2 left up for EG. Plenty of time to defuse. Maybe if he's not weak there, he thinks about a Camo play. I don't know. That's a tough gunfight there where he got hit on the edge.
It's tough. I mean, we've seen players like clutch up plays like that with Camo before. I can think of Gunless. On this particular map, I believe it was against FaZe. He was able to clutch a scenario using active camo, but this is a much different situation. I mean, he's able to get 2. If he had a little bit more health, maybe you think about it, because you kill this one guy, you can make it back around the corner to the bomb, but it's a tough situation to pop camo in, especially when you know the game is on the line coming up next.
Yeah, he's weak. It's not an easy play remotely, but now EG 1 round away from tying the series up at 1-1. If you're just joining us, the S&D very back and forth. The game 1 was a nail-biter that Fnatic was able to take. Let's see what EG can now do on offense with the bomb.
And it's EG with a push straight up mid. We don't see this from a lot of teams, right? They usually stack one on the sides, you get pretty aggressive, and Fnatic has absolutely no idea where they are. They think they pushed all the way over towards A. If EG were to get the bomb down over towards B, they would Fnatic would have no idea what happened. I mean, EG even right now, they're probably a little bit confused. It seems like they have an idea that Fnatic has pushed all the way through, because you see how they're playing. They're almost playing like a defensive setup right now, EG.
Well, now they know what's up. The question is, will Nagafin maybe hit an opening snipe here to find this kill? Nameless playing in the back, waiting for the push on through. Nice nade. Going to connect with the trophy, and he's going to back down behind the rock. Look at this. Some cat and mouse right now.
No, this is perfect. I mean, you get the players weak, you can back this all the way out, and now you have Parasite watching the cross. Should be able to get at least 1, tags 1 player up, not able to finish him off, but Nagafin in the kill feed with a sniper. He's going to get taken down.
By Havoc?
Yeah, Havoc actually team kills him there. He's probably trying to kill the guy going on the rock. Not ideal, because Havoc team kills, gives his position away. A lot of missed shots here from Nameless.
And Nameless he had multiple opportunities to turn this into a 1-versus-1. Unfortunately, bullets coming up dry, just hitting dirt there, and then pushed by Scraps. That was odd. His shot's a little bit shaky there.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Lots of it. I mean, that is one where, I mean, Nameless, I mean, he could have poked out of that window. I mean, he had a great opportunity to kill that one player to his left. I mean, just not really Nameless-like. I mean, Nameless usually very accurate with his shot, just a little bit off there.
Yeah, and he's incredibly confident coming into this. I asked him last night, you know, who's the player to watch, you think, from your team? He said, I'm frying people. He is very confident.
With the way he played in stage 1, definitely deserves to be that confident.
Yeah, he certainly does. He's been stellar as of late. It was Wuskin early for Fnatic. It's now been his brother, Late Scraps, just having one amazing series. And this is great. Yes, it's double round robin, but you can come in and take a victory here, and even if somehow you do it in like a 3-0 fashion, we know how important map count can be. Yeah, he is just going big for his team, but unfortunately trailing by a round, but he has the camo to work with. An assist on the first. Nice little bait and switch there from Sunny B. This looks to be going around 11, unless Havoc and Parasite can muster together some magic.
Yeah, and going into round 11, I don't believe you'd have any payload abilities on the side of EG. I think maybe you have the FTL on Nagafin. It looked like Havoc actually earned his reactive armor there towards the end, so that'll be pretty big for EG in the next round. But it will be a round 11. Fnatic has made the comeback. Maeve, I tell you what, with the way EG is at times, where they can kind of go at each other, you know, jaw at each other, losing this second map and being down 0-2 would be obviously worst case scenario for them. Just overall, obviously, you don't want to go down 0-2, but just in the fashion they've done it, you could definitely see, you know, some kind of arguments, maybe a rift in the team.
But at the same time, we saw them get destroyed day 1 of stage 1, and then they bounced back and just crushed stage 2 and 3. So unfortunately right now, it looks to be maybe a similar start to what we saw in stage 1 for EG, but the first blood's there. Reactive armor comes from Wuskin, can't get out with his life. Havoc has 1, trying to get the second. His reactive armor is out, and he's gonna have to play his life now, trying to find the angle on the player at L. Now, dude, look at how much pressure. You got your veteran Tommy. You got Scraps, who has been amazing. Can they do it in a round 11, 2 versus 3? This is, God, I mean, bomb should be getting planted in a minute. This is going to be a retake. Now would be the best time, right? It's sort of a 2v2 because the bomb's getting planted. As soon as that bomb gets down, now it turns into a fair fight, but Nameless not ready at the edge. Suddenly becomes a 2v2. You have FTL to work with if you're Tommy.
Yeah, maybe you can challenge this player around the corner with FTL. Tommy's going to see both players. Can't locate the first or the second. He's going to get taken out. It'll be EG tying this series up at 1 game apiece.
Wow, I'll tell you what, after they got kind of that free kill on Nameless at the edge, I thought this may be going to Fnatic. They might clutch up in this 2v3, but EG just enough to win a round 11. You know, they've clawed, they've scraped their way to these top 8 finishes all weekend, all year long. You see a bit of it there, the clutch factor coming through in round 11.
What they could have done there, I mean, obviously, you know, hindsight 2020 is like, you kill the first guy on that box, which is Nameless. If you had the FTL, like, you could have sent Tommy in, like, FTL behind the box, like, force that guy out. He's either going to go up in the sky, and then you have Scraps, like, in the middle. He's able to kill him from above. Or he's going to pop out that middle lane. You can trade that out. And then you have Tommy behind the box against the guy who you know just planted the bomb, and you're in a better spot.
I'll be honest, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
When I saw it at FTL, I was like, oh, he's going to dash at this guy, try to make a play, but doesn't end up working out. Series now going to be tied up 1-1. Who's going to take the Game 3 uplink? We'll find out after this quick break. It is time for the Game 3 uplink, and before we hop in, let's take a look at our G Fuel key player matchup. Wuskin, Nagafin. Matt, break it down, buddy.
Both players really similar in the game mode. We talked about how Wuskin has maybe struggled in the respawns, but you see at uplink, he's right around a 1 KD, 0.99. 11 carries of the drone, 31 total points for his team. Nagafin's done a little bit better job, putting some more points on the board, but the same exact KD. Look at both of these players to put the points on the board for their team going into Game 3.
Well, that'll do it for your G Fuel key player matchup before we head into the uplink. Welcome back. EG versus Fnatic. We're tied up at 1 game apiece. It's now going to be uplink, the swing game here in our best of 5. And I think, this has been a game mode that's been one of the better ones for Fnatic throughout the course of the year. Thinking back to stage 1, throwback up like somewhere where they upset a team like FaZe. They can find victories here. I feel pretty good about Fnatic in this Game 3.
And I think, look, I know already in this series, Fnatic has won Game 1. On the side of EG, you make this roster move, bringing in Parasite for Study to get better in the respawn game modes. Parasite brings you more slaying power, more consistency, able to pick up some more kills around the map. NV4, K-Bar, doesn't really matter which weapon's in his hands. They lose the first respawn, you lose the second one. Doesn't look like it's that great of a move this far.
Well, that's exactly what Nameless said last night. He said it was a consistency thing. I mean, Study could have great games, great series from time to time, but he would have those ones that would drag the team down. You're looking at a 0.7.
Parasite
KD.
doesn't have those.
He's consistent. He's going to sit around a 1. Will there be games where he goes off? Sure, but he's not typically going to be a guy that drags you down. He finds his kills.
And I'm kind of glad to see him back on the main stage. Here's a guy who. No, he was at the top of the game. You look back to Black Ops 2 Go, so strong. I mean, every game mode, one of the flashier players, we were talking about, him around COD Champs, Black Ops 2, best player in the game. I mean, he was that good. I mean, he's always been that good. Just, some issues with teammates, just couldn't really find a great fit. Finds himself back here on EG, a little bit of a redemption story. It's good to see Parasite back.
Well, he's a guy that has been kind of, I guess, reality checked from time to time, He's got a bit of an ego at times, but I think he has the gameplay. He has the gameplay to back that up. But the issue is, it's been like you said, it's the team chemistry. When he ends up bumping heads with people or calling out teammates on Twitter, it just feels like. I feel like Parasite's been forgiven so many times just since I've been casting for 4 or 5 years. He needs to make this work. He cannot. If this team does fall apart, it cannot be his fault. Or at some point, will it be the last chance? But do you think maybe we're seeing a new Parasite?
No, I think we have.
Yeah.
I think we have. I mean, at times in the past, it looks like we have, and then things kind of fall apart again. But speaking with Parasite, watching him play with the CG team, watching some of their scrims, definitely seems like a completely different player. A guy who's got his mind, set right, really doing it for the team. It's good to see Parasite give that type of effort again.
And we're just breaking it down for maybe some of you viewers that came in during Black Ops 3 last year. Maybe you're new to it, you haven't seen the history of the guy, but he has been considered the best player in the world before. He has some huge victories, huge championship victories to his name. But he's kind of been a sleeping giant for quite some time. Now has he been awoken again?
You go back and watch some of the stuff, back like Black Ops 2, like Impact, and you watch him play. He was a monster.
Yep.
He was so good. It's insane to watch that stuff now.
And they don't even need that guy. They get 90% of that guy.
They get 75% of that guy. It's pretty good.
All right, here we go. Tied up at 1-1. It's throwback uplink, EG versus Fnatic. This is the matchup we've all been waiting for. This is the one that likely could determine who's coming out top 2 for a chance to play at the $500,000 playoff. And Parasite, I don't know if somebody got a little help on him there, but or Wuskin just gunned him peeking out a window.
I think he definitely got some help. I can't imagine he just dropped that fast, but I know. We've seen weirder. So you see Havoc here trying to wrap through the middle. He's able to get one. He's going to pick up a second kill, and this should open things up for EG. They have the opportunity to bring this drone straight through the middle. See, it's going to go into that top window now, come down by the hay bales. It'll be a 1-point throw. It's going to be connected with by Parasite.
Nice job. He gets that real high. You see an interception attempt, just not really, I guess, going vertical enough to deal with the arc of that throw. It results in a lead for EG. And Nagafin, just like we saw, Classic with an E-Ride in his hand, time and time again, getting into Ticket, just being a nuisance, harassing over and over and over again. We'll see who's going to fill that role for EG. But a team kill maybe would cost them, but it looks like it's just going to cost them mid-map control for now, just due to where the gunfights were going down.
Yeah, if you're going to look at both teams, right, I think you look at Havoc on the side of EG. Like, can he keep getting into this position we see Sunny B? And you can get into this position, force the other team back. They can't get out towards mid-map. You put a lot of pressure on the opposing team.
Well, that was Havoc trying to get there. Unfortunately, he gets mapped with the ERAD as he's trying to get on through. This is more pressure mounting for EG. Scraps tagged up and trying to play it safe, trying to hold on, but the 1-point toss is over the top. And again, an interception looks to be potentially there in the back, but they can't find it.
Yeah, it looks funny when all the players are just kind of like jumping and floating across. It's like they had 3 opportunities to get there. Just one player just needs to kind of connect with the drone in midair. Just not able to make it happen. You see Havoc pick up 2 kills here in this top window. So what it does is just stops any attempt for Fnatic to make a push. They get towards mid-map. They don't have Havoc located. He picks up 2 kills. Then these players are caught mid-map because they're split, right? They need to look back towards their window. They need to look back towards where EG is spawning. They can't really focus on one way, and they get trapped.
Well, this has been a perfect opening 2 minutes for Evil Geniuses. There's been no offensive attempt from Fnatic. They've kept them fighting out of their spawn or for control of mid. This is the first opportunity maybe to get forward as Wuskin opens up with a kill. Tommy all of a sudden by his lonesome there with the drone as Havoc finds another 2-piece. These multi-kills, and we talk at times about how crucial multi-kills can be, especially in uplink, where you only need a 2, 3, 4 down and you can go. When one player is able to just consistently find those double kills, they can be massive for getting points on the board.
Well, it kind of just throws off the rhythm of like your trades, right? I mean, if I kill you, you kill me, we keep going back and forth. If somebody kind of throws in that sequence, I get 2 of your guys. It just kind of throws things in my team's favor so heavily. So those 2 kills, when Havoc's able to get them in quick succession up at the top of the map, those are huge for EG.
Well, only 1 player up from either side. It was Scraps in a 1v1 versus Parasite. Parasite's teammate spawning close to him there at the front side of blue. He's going for a deep toss. It's up, away, just a little bit short there. Not able to put it through, but I don't mind that shot. I mean, you have 2 options there. You can try to get the 1 point as you're the most forward man, or you can wait for your teammates to come off spawn to develop something. I'm okay with it. Just try and take a crack at it with a deep throw.
And to be honest, they have complete control of the map. They have complete control of this first half, so you don't really hate, that attempt at the 1-point throw. It's very difficult to connect. He's very far away. But maybe he gets a little bit closer. It's an easier of a shot, but now Nagafin grabs drone, throws it down. They're just trying to move it up a little bit, and he's going to control his top window. No reason for him to move out of here, and you see, just forces Fnatic so far back.
I mean, I guess the only positive thing you have for Fnatic right now is that it's only a 2-0 deficit. Because, I mean, if you take a look, how many total kills do they have? It's, I think, 35 kills right now for Fnatic. How many of those do you think have come from killing players like on EG's side of the map?
Yeah,
5? Like, if that, it's all been defensive kills or trying to fight back from mid.
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, you look at the score lines, you're like, we're hearing us cast, it's like, oh man, EG's dominated this first half. And you look, it's like, well, Fnatic, oh man, Wuskins has 12 kills, you got 10 on Scraps, like, it hasn't been that bad, like, but all their kills are coming out of their own base. Like, they have not been able to get any kind of control of the map. They have not really controlled the drone that much, and here will be a 2-point play as EG just storms the Fnatic base. So there'll be a 3 streak there for Nameless. He falls, but you've seen all the action happen on the Fnatic side of the map and in their base here in the first half.
Everything. Like, literally everything. This might be the first time they pushed up the bus and got control. Wuskin, I think 1 time I saw him get a kill in that position. Havoc trying to hold a defense. This is your 1 opportunity. Maybe you get points on the board. This would be maybe a little bit of a momentum swing if you can do it, but they're able to hold strong. Nothing comes in there.
Yeah, and he tries to get on the wall run, Tommy, but he just clips the side of that wall and then it just drops him straight down. He's not able to get back on it. You see EG celebrating. They know they did a fantastic job in the first half to lock down the Fnatic side of the map. 1 more good half here from EG will put them up 2-1 in this series.
And that's just that's a very, that was a fun half of Call of Duty for EG. A very rough half for Fnatic. It's like, I don't know, you think back to high school sports, you're running hills every day. Like, they literally were running uphill the entire half is what that's got to feel like.
Yeah, it's kind of brutal. I mean, it just kind of, it's like kind of running on a treadmill, right? Like, right. You're doing the work, you're just not getting anywhere. I mean,
exactly.
You're just sitting in the same spot. All right, here we go. All right, Fnatic, they pick up a bunch of kills at the beginning of this game. See if they can turn into points.
Scraps will be your drone carrier. Sunny B trying to lead out the front with the K-bar. Tommy and him combined for a kill, and there you go. Opening up with 1 point through, a quick attack in the opening 30 seconds. That's exactly what you needed. Now, Wuskin in a position to go big because his teammates are coming off spawn. You don't want EG to get back in control here of drone in mid. If he can just find a kill or two, or just slow down any kind of counter push, or just shoot the bridge.
Shoot at the bridge. Did he
he saw somebody.
You could kind of tell, like, he was moving so fast. Like, it was like he has no control over his person. He just started firing at random objects. Well, it looks like, oh, there you go, pass. So here we go. Fnatic's back in it. Very odd.
Very quickly.
But they're back in it.
60 seconds in. As good as the opening couple of minutes were for EG, you know, it was, what, 2 minutes in. It was a 2-0 lead. They had complete control. It's been even better from Fnatic. You flip sides of the map. We know there are teams that excel on particular sides. You're seeing a much better Fnatic here. Can they keep the pressure going? Havoc's got in behind their spawn, though.
It's just been pressure towards mid-map. It's exactly what EG did in the first half to Fnatic. Fnatic now returning the favor. They've done an excellent job of getting back towards mid-map, you know, getting their team control. But look, now you got Nameless on the Fnatic side of the map. Havoc is pushed up. Fnatic needs to pick up some kills. They need to just keep pushing this out, and they're going to pick up the kills. They need to go. They just need to get the drone, go.
That was a really good defensive hold. You had a kind of a three-pronged push coming in from EG. They find all the kills, and now they're pushing forward to try and get more points on the board. It could very quickly be a tie game. One more found. This should be a dunk, the slide across, the jump through. 5 unanswered for Fnatic, and this game has flipped on its head quickly. And it's, again, the opening 2 minutes. EG did some damage on their side. Fnatic, a whole lot more on theirs.
Yeah, and Sunny B got off to a rough start in the hard point. Fnatic was able to win it, I believe, 1-7 in the S&D. He got off to a slow start in this one, but he's been able to turn it around to, you know, right under even. And I think that's really been a big factor for Fnatic making this comeback. But as we're talking about that, it's EG with a 2-point play. And now look at where Fnatic is on the map. They're just stuck in the back of their base.
What in the hell did I miss? I literally turned around to take a sip of water, and EG had put a dunk through. I turned back around, and now they've got one more toss in.
Got to pay attention, man.
Yeah,
pay attention.
I was like, oh, they're resetting. I'll go take a sip of water. And EG, with the quickness, comes back in this. Wow.
It's a long sip of water you had.
Oh, I'm very thirsty. Very, very thirsty.
Yeah, see Havoc here. The top window, you know, put some shots on a few players. Not able to connect with anything as Fnatic has really turned up. You see the FTL coming out from Tommy. You know, potentially here he can get this pass. It's going to come in from Sunny B. It'll be Tommy putting it through. He earns his Trinity Rocket there as well. Fnatic has now tied this game up with 2 minutes to go.
As much as the first half was kind of stagnant in a way and came down to some defensive plays, this has been fast and furious. Just gets it out of his hand with the overdrive. Nice job there, not getting greedy, trying to go for the dunk. He gives himself the edge. And with 90 seconds remaining, this is a game that could very well come down to Specialist, and you've got 2 to work with on the side of EG.
It's Fnatic with drone. Nameless trying to wrap here towards mid-map. He gets taken out. Now you see Scraps is going to pick up one more kill. This is where Fnatic can put points on the board. You see they're going to be able to take out Havoc in the back. The Trinity Rocket from Tommy going to come down. He's going to try and kill these players off of spawn. And he collides all of them. Oh, he team kills Scraps with the drone in his hand. Oh, you cannot do that. That was surely points for Fnatic.
There were 2 EG players still there, but he at least would have got a throwaway. I mean, it could have been picked. I don't know if it was a gimme, but
just hover the missile.
Yeah, that can't happen. I certainly agree with you. This is going to come down to Parasite, though. Parasite does have his overdrive to work with. Can he get linked up with Nagafin? Nagafin and Parasite doing a hell of a job pushing forward together. Parasite is still here. The overdrive's there, but he might get dropped. Oh, God. Scraps completely drops and burns him there.
And that is one where Nagafin throws the drone forward. Maybe you try and throw that back to Parasite. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication there, not knowing he had the overdrive active. But the drone being pushed down bike path here by Tommy. 28 seconds left. Can Fnatic hold on?
One more point would be so crucial here and make him need a dunk. He gets it away, and it's good. His teammates all pick up the kills. But remember, Parasite still has the overdrive. Nameless has Camo to work with as well. You can absolutely push this to an overtime. He has to preemptively pop it. He gets cut down. It falls into the overdrive hand. Both of them get taken out. It's Tommy cleaning up both, and Sunny B finding the final 2. What a nail-biting finish to the hard point. Fnatic get it done.
Tommy picks up 2 big kills. It's Nameless with the camo on the wall, and it actually, he probably sees Nameless camo when he turns the corner, because Nameless like kind of used that ability then. So he probably just pre-fires straight through. And then, I mean, it's just, I don't want to call it luck, it's just a blessing there. As Parasite's coming right around the corner with overdrive, he's able to take him out as well.
And that was all kind of about time, too. Like, if you had another 10 seconds there for EG, and you can sort of build that, find a kill, and then go, maybe you're okay. But that was just panic. They had to pop everything. The camo comes out. The overdrive needs to try and make a play, and they get cut down. You just needed a little bit more time.
There wasn't enough time to, like, get drone and maybe back out a little bit, let Nagafen and Havoc and Parasite get pushed forward if you're nameless. If you had a few more seconds on the board, maybe it could have gotten a little bit more interesting there.
It's panic time. I mean, they just try to pop everything, come up clutch. They did it in the round 11 search and destroy. They can't do it at the end of the uplink. And this series is everything we've wanted, buddy.
Fnatic has won 2 respawns now over EG, which Fnatic we talked about. Their strength is their search and destroy. They lose that one. Round 11, I mean, this could have been a 3-0 in favor of Fnatic, which would have been so big for them in terms of like overall map count in this group as well. They got to be kicking themselves that they didn't win their round 11.
Well, for EG, you're trailing in this series. You recently made a change to bring Parasite in. We know he needs to be big for this team if they are going to have a chance to come out in the top 2. We sat down with EG to talk about Parasite.
Feedback from the Reddit and all the fans and just people that have supported EG in general have been really good.
Our team vibes are actually better with Parasite on our team, surprisingly. Well, I've teamed with Parasite once before on Complexity for champs in Black Ops 3. Surprisingly, like what other people think is not always true. He's a good teammate. He doesn't argue that much.
I was going through some rough times with like depression and kind of like anxiety. It was due to like a sickness, but anyways, I kind of got over that sickness. I got better, and so my depression, anxiety went away. And I kind of got back to that mental state that I used to be in, where I was motivated and dedicated to Call of Duty and stuff like that. I've just been putting in a ton of work. It's been good. It's been going up since then.
People always think that Chris is just going to come in and ruin a team, but in reality, he's not that hot-headed as people seem. It's just people always see the very end of it where it's already boiled to. Chris as a player brings more structure to the team than we had before, and that's one thing that we were really lacking.
Yeah, he starts arguing and stuff like that, but like I kind of know how to deal with it. And I don't know if he's like changed like 100%, but still like, I mean, you just get older, you get mature, and you realize it's like, what's the point? I think that he has changed a little bit since then, and it's been working well since. So.
Whenever I need to like take a break, I kind of just play other games like on my PC and stuff like that. It kind of helps me just release and kind of just get away from that super like scrutinous like environment.
Parasite's a world champion, although it's a few years back. He's just got that know-how to win. He's got the drive and the desire to do so. He knows how to lead a team, and he sort of fills the roles that maybe Study wasn't doing so well. So he brings quite a lot, but then when things are going bad, I also think he brings some negativity, which if he can just tone that down within this team, then they'll carry on getting better and better.
He knows the game in and out. He's won a Call of Duty championship. He knows how to teach the game. Like, obviously, he gets a lot of flack for his attitude and things like that, but he is right most of the time. His just portrayal of how to tell people he's right is a little off.
I think Octane's last point is true for a lot of Call of Duty competitive players at times. Yeah. You know, good points, not always the best at getting those points through, but you know, we talked about this a lot, you know, coming into this series, you know, you hear it on the desk as well, talking about that man on your screen. And it's interesting to hear the way, I think Nagafen made one of the better points. When we see him explode, maybe attack teammates and things go wrong, the boiling point's already passed. Like, it kind of happens at the end when things have already fallen apart. Maybe he's not the guy that needs to take all the blame.
You see the 30-second clip. That's it. You don't get the full story. You're not watching the entire day. You don't know what happened in his day. You only get that 30-second clip. And then people just kind of rush to judge, like, off of that clip. Like, I remember people saying, like, Crim and Aches, oh, they argue all the time, whatever. It's like, no, it wasn't that bad. You know, it's just that, you know, a minute, 2 minutes, that somebody just, you know, comes in, they see it, they're like, oh man, they're arguing, they must not like each other. It's like just that little span of time, they don't see the entire, you know, 8 hours where everything's great. So I think it's just you know, public perception of what's going on.
Well, it's just the world we live in. Instant gratification with social media too as well, how quickly things can be blown out of proportion. How, you know, he mentioned being scrutinized, you need to step away. Yeah, I mean, from Twitter to Reddit to hell, us casting, talking on the desk, you know, we break things down. If a certain type of people can maybe it's a mental toughness thing, kind of shrug it off, not let it eat away at him. Some people deal with it in different ways, and you kind of heard him talking about just need to step away. It can be a little bit brutal at times, but if what he's saying is true, and he's found kind of a mental sweet spot per se, where he can get back to that motivated, dedicated Parasite, this EG team can continue to be scarier and scarier.
And I mean, you need to step away. Whenever you get angry like that, you need to just kind of put it down, step back a little bit, take a little break. Throw some music on, hang out a little bit. Sometimes even playing at that state just makes it worse. Like when you're in a bad argument with your teammates, like it may just be better to just call it, hey, we'll come back tomorrow, we'll start another day. Like you don't get anything positive out of just keep going at each other.
No, it's very, very true. I think that's true for many aspects of life. Just take, I remember for me, I'd be playing Portal 2. I'd be stuck on a puzzle for hours. I couldn't figure out. I'd take a break for 30 minutes. I come back. I figure out that damn puzzle instantly.
It's not exactly the same.
No, it's not at all.
That's just you weren't intelligent enough to figure it out.
That's probably
so you
true.
probably went on the internet, looked it up.
Stop it.
Ate a burrito, came back, figured it out.
Several frozen burritos. They're out of my appetite now. Here we go. Starting the game 4 hard point. We're into retaliation. And it's a sniper off the break, not connecting with anything yet. But the DMR for Nagafin.
Yeah, we saw him do this at Anaheim. And he was able to pick up a few kills with it, just putting a lot of fire down on the other team and just kind of throws them off guard. They hear the sound. They're not used to it. See the hit markers coming in. Sunny B is able to take him out. Sunny B getting off to a good start. 3-0 thus far, getting some hill time as well. Fnatic jumps in, takes control of the hard point.
We'll see if they can rack up a bit of time here. Sunny B, like you said, 3 streak. He's already 150 off these Trinities, but cut down. That's Parasite finding a nice kill on the wall run. Will slow down that surge from Sunny B. Next man up from Fnatic is going to be Scraps, trying to go on that outside wall run, get an angle here behind the van. But it's Havoc with a couple of kills. And with 10 seconds remaining, we're heading to lower street. And if you look at the dead middle of the minimap, that key plateau, we're seeing it right now from Weskin's point of view, where you see Nagafin. They have to control and lock that down. And right now, it's going to be EG. Look how difficult it is when you look at Nagafin's POV. Okay, well, they gun him, but usually right there, I mean, you're going to win most of your gunfights staring down into lower street.
Yeah, with an NV4 in your hand, you should be able to kill those players with ease. Now it puts Havoc in a tough spot, right? Because he's going to come flying around the corner. He's going to get tagged up from every which angle. It's 3 kills for Fnatic. Nagafin there, now getting on the board, picking up his first kill. But it just makes it impossible to get down into this hard point when the other team has control of that top flat.
Well, let's see if Fnatic can continue to hold strong and how the spawns will go. Because you take a look at the top left of the minimap, the 5 and 6, that's Havoc and Nagafin. They're spawning in your next hard point. So you look pretty good for control for EG, but you've gotten so much time here at lower street. This has been brilliant. I mean, you don't even worry if you're Fnatic so much about having the spawns for the next hard point. I mean, you can fight for it, but you're going to get almost a perfect 60 here in lower street.
Yeah, you don't even worry about it at all. So you see Fnatic starting to inch closer. Few intro kills here would be huge for them. This next hard point is one you can get a ton of time on. It'll be Wuskins picking up 1. Here comes Sunny B, so the trades are favorable here for Fnatic. Sunny B with another kill. And this is excellent for Fnatic. If you are EG, you cannot let him get in here and pick up these kills and take this time. Is not looking good for Evil Geniuses.
That cannot happen. They just bust through. You have 1 through hallway, 1 hits through market, and they trade so brilliantly. That was just sexy stuff from Fnatic as they get a perfect hold of lower street. They're now looking to maybe take all the time here at Graveyard. That was beautiful. I mean, as well as it was played by Fnatic, I mean, that's got to be a little bit of a communication issue coming in from EG. That should not happen.
Oh, it has to, without question. I believe whoever the player was in the hard point, didn't come out and challenge fast enough to trade it out and then get back inside of the hill. He was over watching bridge, which is understandable. You'd think maybe players are coming there for Fnatic, but as soon as you get that call out, you got to move a little bit faster as it is Fnatic up 112 to 28. EG has control of Broken here. But man, Fnatic has given themselves a great chance to close this series out.
And if you are just joining us, Fnatic did take that first hard point. They took the uplink as well. I mean, if they could go a perfect 3 for 3 on the respawns, and even a 3-1 map count over EG, this would just be such a brilliant, brilliant start to kick off day 1 of the red group for stage 2. And look how close Sunny B is. He's only got 32 bullets in the clip map, but he just needs 1 kill to find the bombardment.
Sunny B again. He was huge going over to Cathedral. He earns the bombardment there, picking up 1 more kill. Sunny B, we talked a little bit about it. He's not been great in the respawn game modes. Questionable. Starting off slow in the search and destroy. I believe 1 and 7. 8 and 6. Doesn't look crazy. Look at the hill time though. Any earned streaks. He's been a big player for Fnatic here in game 4.
And this is a map where, speaking of the streaks, you'll hear many players refer to it as the most important hard point to get those streaks on. They can be so deadly, whether it's on rotation or clearing out a lot of these out and kind of open space hard points. We'll see how they end up getting involved. It was game one. Streaks for the story game one as well. Remember, you had full streaks come in twice from scraps, and the end Trinity Rocket ended up being crucial. We have a similar story here.
It's going to be Wuskin getting inside, just pre-firing the doorways, knows where the players are coming from on EG. 40 seconds left on this hill, and it is Fnatic again able to get control of the hard point. EG looks all out of sorts here on this map.
They do. They still have control inside. Nameless trying to fight in. It's Tommy on the opposite side, trying to rack up a little bit of time, but he gets cut down off the wall run. Back to Sunny B's POV, and you see he still has these streaks to work with. Plus, he's working on another set of streaks. He's 11-7. He's got 3 kills in a row before getting shot from behind. But we're just about to head to our second set of rotations. Nagafen in a good position to get started.
And it's going to be very important to see when he calls those streaks in. Nagafen able to pick up 2 from behind, not able to finish off the 3rd. I don't think you need to use these streaks here on Bridge. Kind of unnecessary. I think you save them definitely for Broken and over in the Graveyard Cathedral Hill.
Well, they are going to use them, so it's a good job by EG, baiting them out early, and that's a 2-piece connection, Parasite and Havoc on the wall run. And even though you get the 2 kills, I mean, maybe it's a good thing for EG in the sense that they had to use them now, but the problem is you're going to get so much time on Bridge, you might be putting the game away early.
They are going to get a ton of time here. I mean, you think, maybe...
Or not.
Well, EG just comes in and just breaks it instantly, so that first streak, not a great use, I think. Maybe at that point in the game, Fnatic is like, oh, we're up by so much, there's no way they can make a comeback, right? We'll use it on Bridge here. We don't really need it. You have some more streaks, going over to Cathedral. But now, I mean, EG, if you're on their side, hey, look, we hold lower market, we get control of Cathedral, we play it a little bit better. We're right back in it.
Yeah, no, that's amazing that they get them to burn the streak that early, and they do a good job contesting the remainder of the time. You only get 10 or so points for Fnatic there, and off of the streak.
And he used it, what, like 10 seconds into the hard point coming up? Like right away almost?
Yeah, and you don't get a whole lot out of it. So let's see if that ends up hurting throughout the remainder of the game. Sunny B has been so good on the side of Fnatic. You hear him screaming 16-10, over a minute in the hard point, and a couple of kills to go with it. You see at the bottom right, still has the bombardment to work with, getting awfully close to the Centurion as well. But man, we've seen the Twins step it up in a big way game 1 and 2. Sunny B, who can be inconsistent, has been stepping up here in game 4. The intangibles provided from Tommy. When the team's playing like this, man, they're terrifying.
Oh, and they're going to play again right after this. So they get to go against Mind Freak. Mind Freak didn't look great against Luminosity. See Tommy there, Liz on a 4 streak, he falls. But Fnatic, I mean, they close out this map. They have a good chance to start day 1 off 2-0.
They really, really do. And that'd be huge. This is your quote-unquote easy day, right? You don't play Luminosity. You kind of don't need to go 2-0, but you kind of need to go 2-0.
you do. I think Luminosity, as probably the best team in the game right now, you need to be able to beat the other 2 teams, because I don't want to say you're definitely going to lose them, but definitely looks likely with the way they've been playing the last few events.
I actually don't have issues saying that. I don't see anyone beating LG this weekend. At all.
I mean, I don't really have an issue with that at
all. Okay, well, let's see if they can close it out here. Just need 20 or more seconds. Havoc putting some shots in a teammate. Nice shots there, though, at Statue. Tries to re-peek, but will end up falling. If Nagafen pinching from the other side. This 1v1 is everything. He FTLs away. Good use to stay alive. That's brilliant stuff from Nagafen, but just one more bullet. Can't win it. And yet again, it's Sunny B, and Nameless is there just a second late. Then Parasite comes in. It's 1 by 1 by 1. Here's the 4th. The last guy's Havoc. They were never able to get a full team hit. This is going to end up going Fnatic's way. And I think they can win it. They can win it.
No, they cannot.
Oh, God, my mouth was way up. I thought there was 20 seconds.
No, I was doing the math.
Good math, Clint.
I was doing the math in my head, and I'm watching the clock.
Yeah.
And when you said they could win it, in my head, I was like, he could not be any further off.
I looked at it. I was like, I was thinking, though, the 1 second was going to match up perfectly. They needed 10 more seconds to do it. But I was talking about this hard point, man. They can win it here, and they get it done. What a win from Fnatic.
They can certainly win it there. Yeah.
I need someone with a calculator, apparently, to be near me.
TI-83.
Wow, what an impressive performance. The final kill cam is Scraps, and he was just a delight to watch throughout the course of that series. They prove they're a force to be reckoned with. And again, that goes back to it. I asked, are we underappreciating maybe EG, that we think Fnatic can take this series? And well, you see right there, no, we are not. Fnatic what a win.
It could be a little bit of both. I think we have underappreciated EG a little bit, and then I think also, Fnatic, they've gotten a lot of good practice. Anaheim, right to Sheffield, right to here. They've had a lot of game time, at live events, playing against other top teams from all over the world. They were very prepared coming into this week.
And you heard about the fact that some of the team struggles coming into stage 1 is in Europe in general. You didn't have a lot of good scrims going in. I mean, you heard that from the top down, from Splice on through. There's no excuses from that realm, considering you're coming off back-to-back LAN events. You have as much practice as you could possibly need, and it shows there, man.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that's a huge win there for Fnatic. Now, they get that series win 3-1 over Evil Geniuses. It's a good map count. Maybe you would have liked to have that 3-0 if you're able to win that round 11. Would have been huge for them. But that is a big series for Fnatic going forward the rest of the weekend. Now they go up against Mindfreak next. They're able to take care of business there. They're in a very good spot.
Well, the hero of the first series for Fnatic, it's got to be Scraps. The man was a beast, and he's on stage with a very own Courage.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Fantastic cast there and a fantastic series from Fnatic as they take that one 3-1 over Evil Geniuses. Looking hot right now. Scraps, specifically you, went off on that first map. Before we get into anything else, why was that possible? What was going on in that game that let you put up nearly 40 kills?
I just think I've got the God box, really. I just wasn't dying. I was killing everyone so quick, so I don't even know.
You were just feeling it right there, hitting all your shots, and, well, it was good to see. You guys obviously took that one with relative ease. You go into Game 2, Search and Destroy. You put up some great numbers there again, but you guys wind up dropping it in round 11. What just wasn't clicking for you in that S&D on Crusher?
I think we would have won that round because we planned to stack A-bomb, and if they hit us, my brother had Kinetic, but they FTL'd. It happened against Optic. At Anaheim, it was 5-all, and Formal did the exact same thing Nagafen did. And it worked in their favour, so they traded us out. It's unlucky.
Absolutely. I think it's a knocker, did you say? Is that a bad thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that everyone from America understands. I'm trying to learn this as well. Now, moving forward, you guys wind up taking the series, both hard points. You just seem to have Evil Genius's number on Retaliation Hardpoint. Happened the last time you faced them. You win it again here. Is Retaliation Hardpoint one of your best hardpoint maps, and why is it so good for you guys?
To be honest, I don't think it's one of our best. It's just when we all play well. Like, Sonny's being annoying. My brother's obviously very good with the MV4, and then me and Tom just doing the other bits, really. So just all went in our favour, that map.
Well, one final question for you. Stage 1, when you face this EG team, you beat them early in the weekend. You wound up losing the second series. What are you going to do this time around to make sure you go up 2-0 over EG in your group?
In Season 1, when we beat them 3-0, we didn't take it easy, but we took the second series not the same as the first. Obviously, because they started off really bad, but then they just come out like Optic to day 2 and 3. So, yeah, just won't be underestimating them, second series.
Absolutely. Well, that's Scraps from Fnatic. A big win for them to start off their group here in Stage 2. For now, though, our analysts are going to break down that great 4-game series.
Thank you so much, Jack. It's time to party here at the desk, guys, and we got Merc to kick it off. Merc, we're talking about Evil Geniuses first, and as we take a look at some of the good moments and the highlights, what did you see from this team?
From EG?
Yeah.
I guess the good thing will have to be sort of Nameless and Parasite playing extremely well, but the player for me has to be Nagafen. When he plays well and respawns, they succeed. Game 1, though, he was struggling big time. It just seems like he's that consistent player. So when he was on, Elevate just years ago in TR, he had to be the guy in Respawn to step it up, and unfortunately that game number 1, he just wasn't.
Game number 1 went pretty rough for them. Search and Destroy was looking great. They should have closed it out pretty early on. It went the distance to around 11, but they were able to seal the deal there as well. I was watching this map in particular, Crusher against Luminosity back from Anaheim, and it seemed that this squad had no idea what to do when on attack. When you watched them here going up against Fnatic, what did you guys see in the Search and Destroy?
I saw straight away Nagafen compared to his respawn, double the player, if you like. He was kind of very decisive. He wasn't hesitating at anything. When he made a decision, he went for it. And he had the backup of his team, half the time. And yes, sometimes it doesn't play out, but he was picking up, I think, 2 pieces in S&D. And you shouldn't be seeing that, especially to get it and also get away from things as well. So great plays from EG, kind of to push it to around 11. I think there still was mistakes from both sides. But I would say from both teams, I think there was decisiveness of where to go, but I think Fnatic were very, very strong at that internal bomb site, that A bomb site. When they attack that, they seem to just push the enemy team out. No matter who it is, they kind of just take over, but it's obviously then getting that next stage, getting that bomb down and keeping it there.
TP, I want to talk a little bit about Scraps. He was definitely my MVP watching, and he put on an MVP-like performance in game number 1. Tell me a little bit about this guy. He sits next to his twin brother, but their numbers, they were drastically different in that first hardpoint.
I don't know what the difference is going on between the twins, but overall, Scraps, he's talking about having, you know, a favorable box. I don't think that's what it is at all. I think it's all confidence. When you're playing with that forward momentum, you can tell the players on the map that are having a good game, and because they're always being that forward momentum. 40 kills in this first map, 2.22 KD, hell of a way to start the weekend. And when you can play that aggressive, it puts the other team on that back foot, and that's when you're holding hard points. If you can get that forward pressure out on the map, which I feel like a lot of teams struggle with, that's how you can get those kill counts heavily into your favor. So he's always challenging, always has those teammates, you know, at his back foot, but when you're able to win so many on your own, you're just gonna run away with it.
There you see the numbers, 40 kills from Scraps over a 2.0, a 2.22. Ridiculous game number one. I thought they were gonna come back and win the search and destroy. They fell just short. Let's talk big picture here. If you're playing against Fnatic, you've seen the squad now, what is their greatest strength? Is search their clear weakness, or do you think this is potentially a game mode that they just slipped up too early for game two?
I just think they slipped up early. I think Nagafin had a really great game, but I mean, Fnatic, when they're slaying well, when Sunny B in that game 4, you can see when he sort of steps it up, this team is very tough to beat. The Twins obviously doing a great job. Tommy, if he can stay consistent, he is that leader. He brings so much leadership and sort of control to this team, that direction. That's what these guys need. The response to me has to be on Sunny B. If he's playing well, and just because he plays so quick, he puts so much pressure on the map. If he's playing well, they're a very tough team to beat.
Sunny B is definitely an X factor for me. Wuskin, we know kind of what to expect from him. Sunny B, I never know. He had a pretty decent game one, and then he just fell apart in the early rounds of Search and Destroy. He came to life a little bit towards the end, but in game 4, he was a difference maker. He started off 3-0, got an early scarab on the first hard point, and here he was helping retake the Cathedral. Momo, TP, when you guys are watching this Fnatic squad, we're all watching Scraps. He's going to be kind of the star player. Is it Sunny B, in your opinion, as that X-Factor number 2 guy, or is it Tommy?
I think straight away Sunny B is kind of the X Factor. People look at the word X Factor and think the superstar, but for me it's not. It's just kind of doing what you need to do for your team. And you know, it showed from map 1 to map 4. You know, those were pretty much consistent. I'd say yes, Scraps had a very good map 1, but Sunny B, when he played well on map 4, it takes all the pressure off. Sunny B, as we talked about Mindfreak, you know, Dens or whoever is making that entry, Sunny B is doing that, and sometimes he struggles, he doesn't have the help, or he just kind of will lose the majority, which, you know, isn't, you know, something that, you know, you should be winning. But I think when he does and he's making those entry kills, it just takes all the pressure off Fnatic.
I think the best way to describe Sunny B on this team, too, is he's going to be that guy that extends the play out, especially in uplink scenarios. He's going to be that guy that ends up behind enemy lines in hardpoint, going to be the last guy, you know, using those slides to your advantage to buy as much time for your team to make it back off of respawn and hills. So when he's able to do that, if he picks up those intro kills, that buys his team, you know, a good 4, 5, 6 seconds to get them back into the play so they can, you know, wreak havoc and challenge everything like we saw Scraps was able to do. So when Sunny B's having a good game overall, I think it just buys a lot of time, makes the team just feel more comfortable. So he needs to keep it up.
Keep it up. That's going to be the key here for Fnatic. Real quick, before we throw to break, guys, I have to ask you, can you recap your predictions for me? Who called Fnatic coming out on top of this one?
I had Fnatic, but I had it in game 5.
Game 5?
Yeah.
I was wrong.
You're 3-0?
You got the score right.
I had EG 3-1, but I should have.
Was I wrong? I think I was.
I think you called
EG game 5, right?
Yeah.
I lost.
Didn't work out so well. So Momo is a perfect 2-0. Teep and Merc, they're currently sitting at 1-1, and we're going to be keeping track for all 4 weeks of the group stages here in Stage 2. And speaking of Stage 2, you can come and watch it live in the venue. Tickets are on sale, mlg.tv/Pro League. Come join us, watch the Global Pro League, hang out with the players as well as all of the analysts and casters in the venue every Saturday and Sunday for the next 5 weekends. EG, they fall, but it's Fnatic who climbs in to that tied #1 spot with Luminosity. Can they stay perfect? Up next, they're facing the fiercest foes from down under. It's Mindfreak back on the main stage when we return.